The government wishes to give its most sincere condolences and our sympathies to the traders in Gikomba following the tragic fire incident that happened. And really, we stand with them in solidarity. Already, we are taking measures using the National Disaster Operations Center and other government agencies. We'll continue to collaborate with the county government of Nairobi and to also ensure that we get to know the basis upon which these fires are persistent. We call upon the people not to really, speculate about the basis or the cause of this fire until investigations are done. We sympathize with those people who's lost their livelihoods because today morning they don't know where to go, having invested to eke out a living for their families. So once again, our most sincere sympathies and condolences to everyone who is affected in one way or another by the Gikomba fire incident. Corruption remains a major barrier in Africa's economic transformation, good governance and sustainable development. The government reaffirms its unwavering commitment to transparency, accountability, and the eradication of corruption across all sectors. This growing complexity of modern corruption, including money laundering, cybercrime, trafficking, fraud, and illicit financial flows crossing borders, demands innovative and coordinated responses. In this regard, the government proudly announces the launch of the Africa Anti-Corruption Studies and Research Center in Nairobi, established under the auspices of the Association of African Anti-Corruption Authorities, AAACA. This center marks a pivotal step in positioning Kenya as a continental leader in the fight against corruption. Remember very well also we have an African Parliamentarians Network Against Corruption. It was started here in Kenya. The office is registered here, and I was privileged to serve as the founding Secretary General of that, that caucus. And other countries have since, replicated that model. Together with this research center and such other institutions, Kenya will serve as a hub for cutting-edge research, policy development, capacity building, and the delivery of evidence-based solutions to emerging corruption challenges. The establishment of this center marks the culmination of a 4-year effort to enhance research, knowledge sharing, and cooperation amongst African anti-corruption agencies, EACC and the others. This is actually building on the progress of many, many other initiatives, and the government remains steadfast in its commitment to fighting corruption through stronger institutions, digital innovation, transparency, and decisive actions to uphold the rule of law. On the Nairobi National Park, the government wants to make it clear and to state as follows. The proposed hiving off of the part of the Nairobi National Park and the relocation of the Nairobi Animal Orphanage, NAO, or now if you like it, within the park, the government affirms that all actions will strictly adhere to established legal procedures and frameworks to ensure proper governance and environmental protection, with no shortcuts or compromises in preserving this national heritage. This project, approved by the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, in December of 2025, involves the development of a modern facility and a visitor infrastructure on 76 acres of open grassland within the park's boundaries, with no reduction in the park's overall area. The existing orphanage will be relocated 1.5 kilometers away to a new site opposite the Bomas International Convention Center, which is at advanced stage of completion. This new facility will feature upgraded animal enclosures, a wildlife hospital, first ever by government for various species, reflecting the government's commitment to conservation and animal welfare. The project includes a parking facility to accommodate up to 1,300 vehicles, integrated with the Bomas of Kenya, and a pedestrian overpass to improve visitor access. And by the way, it's good to say we are still retaining a section for our traditional dances. We are not doing away with that. There's a whole section there for that, because we also need to have that cultural experience. So you have the convention center, you have the cultural dance, and you have the animals, some of the best products that you have for the country. Beyond conservation, this initiative, and of course the Talanta Stadium also, big one. Beyond this conservation, this initiative is expected to create over 500 direct jobs, boost tourism, and enhance overall conservation outcomes. The government reiterates that all necessary environmental approvals and safeguards have been duly obtained, including an 85% public participation approval rating and the issuance of a NEMA license under the Environmental Management and Coordination Act. Claims suggesting that widespread destruction of Nairobi National Park are inaccurate and therefore misleading. And some of these people are just doing that to hoodwink donors so that they can fund their initiatives. On the JKIA modernization procurement process, as earlier stated, our infrastructure there is old. You have seen leaking roofs. We just have makeshifts just at the end of a runway. We are going to get a new runway. The capacity has actually burst. It can only accommodate about 7.8 million. The airport was built in 1957 and upgraded in 1978. We need to do more if we are to maintain our competitive edge as a transport hub for this country. The government strongly rejects misleading media reports that falsely associate companies not involved in the modernization procurement of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and urges the public to rely solely on verified official communication, recognizing that much of JKIA's infrastructure is outdated and operating beyond capacity. The government commissioned a comprehensive master plan and feasibility study developed by a leading global engineering firm to establish a clear, phased strategy for the airport's long-term expansion. The current procurement process for the design and build contractor has been conducted transparently and in full compliance with the Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act through an open international competitive bidding process. So all of those things that we are hearing, rumors in the social media, they need to come to rest. We need to build a new airport. In fact, we are late because the third administration started this process, and every time there has been opposition, and that I think we just must do it.